practicing cardiologist, interventional cardiologist. May we welcome Dr. Eileen Delara. Delara na sa nagamit.
Good morning to everyone. Morning, it's hard. So we're very happy that we have a lot of media people here to somehow help us cascade the promulgation of the website, particularly the microsite, pusompinay.com. So basically, I would like to give you a background on this. Why do we really have to know about women's health? So this is a known truth that before, there is a linear relationship between men and women in terms of cardiovascular diseases. However, in the mid-80s and mid-90s, we were able to show that men has less likely die of cardiovascular disease, but more so for women. And that is one of the reasons why we really have to be advocate for this women's cardiovascular health. And you might be wondering why, bakit po ang babae nahuhuli, hindi masyadong binibigyan ng pansin ang ating puso? Dahil unang-una po, wala tayong masyadong simptomas na nararamdaman. Majority of patients who die of cardiovascular disease, particularly in women, 64% of them die without no symptoms at all. Walang nararamdaman. Okay? Compared for men, 50% of them do have no symptoms. Okay? So they have non-classic symptoms. If you would notice, nandiyan po sa ating mga wall, yung mga poster. So if you would look closely, may sumasakitan tiyan. You have here somebody who's holding the neck, somebody who's holding the back. So these are non-classic symptoms of heart attack. Nandun po sa mga gilid ng walls ninyo. Okay? So basically, yan ang reason bakit gusto natin i-promote cardiovascular health. No? And for the longest time, Jean, ayan. Okay, for the longest time, okay, ito po yung main differences, no? So, sinabi ko kanina, back pain, arm pain, neck, and jaw pain, these are commonly seen sa mga babae. Sa lalaki, usually chest pain, nakahawak sa dibdib, okay? Ano pa? Women wait longer to be checked up. Mas nade-delay ang check-up ng babae. Bakit? Uunahin natin ang ating asawa, ang ating anak, ang ating magulang. In fact, it has been estimated that women wait longer, around 54 hours before they seek consult, despite the fact that they have symptoms. Okay? Mas mahaba, 54 hours versus that 16 hours for men. Okay? Anong common sa babae? Type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. Mas maraming nakikita sa babae. Okay? What else? Complication are a lot more pagdating sa babae as compared to men. And you know, ngayon po, it has been known that depression in women is associated with cardiovascular disease. With whatever reason, there is now a link that depression equates to cardiovascular health in women. Okay? So you see, there is really gender differences between men and women, particularly for Filipinos. So there are reports that Filipino women may be less aware. Kaya po we are doing this. You are less aware of their cardiovascular health risk, less concerned for their own health, and less likely to report. Hindi masyadong nare-report. Okay? Tinatago lang. Okay? And behavioral influences CV risk change a woman's lifestyle, which becomes more westernized. Okay? So ito po yung differences. I've discussed it a little. Iba ang simptomas ng lalaki, iba ang simptomas ng babae. Mas maraming non-specific. Masakit ang batok, masakit ang tiyan, masakit ang leeg. Bihira yung sakit sa dibdib. Okay? Usually fatigue, madaling mapagod. So it should alarm you, magpa-check up na most likely you have heart condition, if you have fatigue, even for sleep disturbances. Okay? What else? Shortness of breath, kinakapos ng hinga. Indigestion, sumasakit ng sikmura. And you would see here, chest pain is only 29.5%. So, kukunti talaga ang nag-chest pain. Majority do have non-specific symptoms. Okay? And sometimes, women minimize their cardiac symptoms. Ibig sabihin, hindi nila papansinin. If they're going to rate, sumakit ang dibdib, ay hindi masyado. Mas mareklamo ang lalaki. Okay? So basically, when we go into menopause, okay, you have all of these changes that will happen. higher total cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, higher prevalence of high blood pressure, higher prevalence of metabolic syndrome. Ano po yun? Mataas ang sugar, mataas ang cholesterol, mataas ang BP, mabigat. Okay? You have different risk factors that somehow sets in once an individual woman goes into menopause. So, what would be the main difference in terms of presentation and findings? Lower prevalence of MI but more severe. Mas complicated. You don't see much sa angiogram. You have more osteal lesion, more endothelial dysfunction. So what is the data now in the Philippines? No? There is increasing trend of cardiovascular disease. In fact, in 2016, you have seen 67% of the total deaths in the Philippines are more for non-communicable. So when you say non-communicable, ito po yung mga sakit sa puso. Hindi ito yung infection. Okay? In fact, if you're going to look at the 10 leading cause of death in women, this is 2016, you would see here ranking number 1 is neoplasm. But if you're going to look in detail, this is ischemic heart disease, this is cerebrovascular disease, this is hypertensive disease, and other heart disease. So if you total all the number of cases, it's even more than neoplasm. So that's a total of 40% of women dying of cardiovascular disease. And it's only 12.5% for total neoplasm. Okay? So what is Go Red? If you would notice, all of us are wearing red. So Go Red stands for this. G, you get your numbers. So what is that number? Your weight. Hindi na po yung height. Your weight, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your waistline. Okay? Own your lifestyle. You have to own what kind of lifestyle that you wanted. As what Miss Ami said earlier, she do Pilates, she do exercises, she choose the right food. So tayo po ang mamimili nun. We have to realize, if we know our numbers, we have to realize our risk of developing cardiovascular disease. We have to involve our family. And lastly, that's the reason why we are all here. Let's not be silent. We have to really promote women's cardiovascular disease. So what are the basic facts? There is increasing trend of death in women. And what is very important, it is something that is preventable. So ano na po ang naalam natin? What have we learned from the past? Heart disease can strike any age. Kahit sino, pwede na. Okay? There are different factors that would lead to heart disease, and we can change that. We can prevent and we can postpone cardiovascular disease. With this kind of awareness in the US, they were able to improve the awareness of women from 34% to 54% 10 years after. They were able to make that women choose healthy in terms of eating what is right. 54% of women who were aware of women in red, to increase their exercises, to check their cholesterol, and even have their loss of weight. So for 10 years in the US, they were able to reduce death. Fewer women are dying, and more than 500,000 were saved from cardiovascular disease. So ano pong numbers that you have to know? Cholesterol, blood pressure, sugar, and your body mass index. So you have to know your height, weight, and your waistline as well. So these are the ideal numbers. So para lang po sa alaman ng madami, less than 120/80, BMI should be less than 25, FBS should be less than 100. Okay? So what is now the Women's Cardiovascular Health Council is doing? So we are doing a advocacy campaign. So we have identified already the issues, and that is lack of awareness. So we really have to, promulgate this cardiovascular health, particularly in all of the women in the Philippines. So we are starting with the information. We've started from 10 years back. There is really a truth that there is mainly differences between men and women cardiovascular disease. Women are less likely to feel that they are suffering from heart attack. So basically, we are having this campaign of posters. And if you would notice, all of them do have some QR code. Nakita nyo po, you have your posters there. They have the QR code, wherein when you click, you'll be able to go into the microsite or the pusongpinay.com. So one of the posters that we have is this one. So we have a fragile heart handle it with care. No? That's why it's 2D. You can see it and you can touch it. Diba po? So a woman's heart is more fragile. It is less, 60 grams smaller, with smaller arteries. So can you see this one? So you have here an individual, a woman, putting her hands in the stomach. So it goes to emphasize what? That stomach pain deserves a second look for women. So if you want more information, you can just go on to pusongpinoy.com or click on your QR code. So you have here neck pain, okay? Another non-classical symptom of cardiovascular disease. It deserves a second look. If you want to know all about it, you click pusongpinoy.com. Same thing with back pain. So we have to shake them out of their complacency, and all of us should be aware and learn about female heart attacks. So we were going to distribute all of these posters in all comfort rooms, among malls, pharmaceutical companies, cardio training institutions, universities, and even to schools. Okay? So this is just a sample. Okay? So bakit po sa CR lang? Kasi lahat nagpupunta sa CR ay babae. Walang pupuntan lalaki. No? So to emphasize that we have to be aware of this cardiovascular condition that is also seen in the female gender. Okay? So